Hello everyone, welcome back to my 4-Star School YouTube channel. In last lesson, we have finished the homepage for this ebook application using the Flutter. So in today's lesson, we are continue working on this detail page for this ebook application. If you are new to my channel, feel free to reach out to my channel page. You will find Flutter for beginner tutorial, Flutter UI for only Scratch tutorial. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, sum up my content, and open the notification so you won't miss out the future Flutter tutorial. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's open the design file. And first we're going to find this book item, and we write our navigation logic in this when we click this book item. So let's back to Visual Studio Code. Under this home folder, widgets folder, we have this book item, right? And we can wrap this book item with a gesture detector. And we have this on-tab attribute inside this gesture detector, and we're going to use navigator.ofContext.push. Right? Inside, we're going to use a material page route, and we'll receive context, and we're going to navigate to the detail page with this book object. We're going to pass from its constructor. So let's back to this detail folder. We're going to create a detail.dar file and also a widgets folder to store the local widget for this detail page. And we're going to create a stateless widget for this detail page, and going to import library and make this key nullable. Also, we're going to define our book object, so import library as well. Rewrite its constructor. I'm going to pass this book object, right? For this build method, we're going to return our scaffold. We have a body attribute, and we're going to use center widget. We have a child attribute. We're going to use a text widget. Indicate this is our detail page. Okay, and we can save it. Back to this book item. We're going to import library here, right? So we can save it. Now we are able to test it in our emulator. So let's click one of those books. Yeah, it's successful. Navigate to our detail page. So we can start from this point. So the first thing I going to do is this add bar. So let's close this book item, and in this detail.dar we have our scaffold, right? When I click, we navigate to this scaffold, so we can write our add bar first. We can to create a method which is called build add bar, and here I'm going to pass this context because we have this go back button. When I click this button, I will back to the previous page. So I'm going to pass this context. We're going to use a navigator.ofContext, so we're going to need these context. So let's create this method. So this method will return the add bar. So we can write our add bar widget. So we're going to return an add bar inside the add bar. So let's see this prototype. We have a leading attribute which contains this go back button, and and let's implement. So we have this leading attribute. Here I'm going to use icon button. We have two attributes. One is on press, which is required. Right. Another one is this icon. Here I could use material icon. I think it's icons. Here I'm going to use the arrow back iOS outline, right? And also change the color. I'm going to use our font color. So okay, for this method we're going to receive the build context, right? And we can save for now to see if the app bar is coming out. Yeah, we see this app bar, but the color is different like in this prototype. So we're going to change the color for this app bar, and which is the white color. So let's save. And also I think we need to change the scaffold as well, the color for scaffold. So we can change the background color of this scaffold to white as well. Let's save. And I think we also need to set this elevation to 0. Okay. And for this icon button, we have this on pressed. So I'm going to use this navigator dot of context dot top, right? So let's save. When I click this button, we'll back to the previous page. Let's try. Okay, it works. So for the next one would be this action. So under this leading attribute, we have action attribute as well. In here, I could use another icon button, right? We have those two required attribute. For the on pressed, we could leave it empty. For this icon, I can use icon, which is a material icon, more horizontal outline it. Right? Also change the color. Okay, and let's save. Yeah, it seems good, like this prototype. Okay, and I think that's for this app bar. We're going to move to the next part. So I consider divide this entire page into 3 parts. So first one would be the book detail with the information, the type information, the book name, publisher, and the date. The second part would be this cover, and the third part would be the book review. So, and I'm going to use a single child scroll view replace with this center widget. So let's replace it with our single child scroll view, and we have a child attribute. We are going to use a column widget, right? We have a children, so we divide those into 3 parts. So we're going to finish the first part, which is the book detail. Also, we're going to pass our book object. So let's create our book detail widget. So under this widgets folder, we're going to create a book detail.dar, right? For this book detail.dar, I think it should be a stateless widget. I'm going to call it book detail, right? And make it this key nullable. And also we're gonna have this book object we pass from outside and rewrite its constructor, import a library, import a material library as well. So we could just paste a simple text here, detail, and save. For this detail.dar, we're going to import a library. Okay, let's save. and you will able to see the book detail come out on the screen. So for this book detail, and we're going to let's check our prototype. So first we have our book type, which is history, and also the book name, the publisher, and also the date. So I'm consider using the column widget, right? We have 3 columns, and for the third column, we could be another row widget, right? So we're going to give these container a padding. Could use edgeinset.org, set to 20. And for it is child, I'm going to replace this text widget with our column widget, and we have a children attribute, right? So also you'll notice we have a cross alignment which start from start. So I'm going to set this cross alignment to start. Okay, for it is children. So first children will be a text widget. So I'm going to write down it is first children, which is book.type to uppercase. Okay, and also we're going to style it since we have a deep orange color, and I'm going to use this text style. So for this text style, we're going to change its color and also the font weight, right? So for its color, consider using deep orange. Also for font weight, change to bold, right? Make this text style constant. So we can save it. Yeah, you see we have this one, the book type. So the next for the book name, but we have some space between. So we're going to use this size box. Height set to 10. So next would be our book name. It's another text widget. We have a book name. We're going to style it as well. So we could use text style. Inside this text style, we're going to change the font size to 24, and also color, font color, and the height change to 1.2. For the color, we're going to import our colors.dart library and make this text style constant, right? So we can save it. Yeah, names come up. So for it is publisher. For the third column, actually it's a row, but first we give it some space and going to change it to 15. And for our third column, it should be a row, right? So we're going to use a row widget. In this case, we have a children attribute. For this row, we're going to use a space between. This is our first row, and this is our second row. We could use space between for it is main axis alignment, and to change to space between. Okay, for it is children. So as you see, we have a different color for this publisher. So here I'm going to use text.reg, and for it is inside this text reg, we're going to pass this text band, right, which is required. So for the text band, we just pass the text band. So inside this text band, we have a children attribute, right? Also, we have a first children, which is another text band. We have a text, which is published from, right? And also style it. We can use as text style. and I'm going to change its color, which is a gray color, and also going to make it constant for this text span. So we save it. You will see we have this published from. So for our second one will be our publisher. So I'm going to consider using another text span, and I'm going to use book.publisher, right? I'm going to style it, which is constant text style, and we're going to change its color, and also the font weight. Okay, so let's save. Now you see we have a different color on text because we're using this text.reg. So next we're going to implement our second row. So after this rich text, I will choose another text widget, right? So since we're going to format the date, so we consider using a third-party library, and the library we are going to use is this Intel. So let's click this installing tab, and we're going to copy the dependence back to our Visual Studio Code. Find this pub/specific YAML file. So under this line 36, we paste it here, and we hit save, and we can close this pub/specific YAML file. And in our book detail.dar, we're going to import a library here. Okay, and we are good to go. So we can style something like this for the date. So we're going to use date format dot. We could use this one, and we're going to use this format. We pass the date, which is book.date, right? And we can style it constant text style. So inside we could change this color, which is colors.gray. Okay, let's save and check. Yeah, it's good, right? So I think we finished this book detail. So next we're going to implement this book cover. So for the book cover, let's back to Visual Studio Code. Under this widgets folder, we're going to create book cover tab, right? And it should be a stateless widget. Going to call it book cover. And we also receive our book object and rewrite its constructor, this book, and we're going to import a library for book as well, and make this key nullable. And we can just place very simple text in here, indicate it's a book cover, and we hit save, and back to this detail.dar, and we can import here, which is book cover, right? And we can save it. Then you're able to see this text shown here. So for the book cover, let's back to this design file, and here I'm going to use a stock widget, right? Because we have those two icon, and also we have a cover. Under the cover we have this gray shape container, rounded, right? So we're going to first give the container a margin. Going to use edge inset symmetric, vertical, give it 10, and for it is padding, I'm going to use constant edge inset only, so we only give a left padding, which is 20. So let's save. For now, we didn't give this container like a wet, so by default you will in this center. You only wrap these text, right? Weight depends on the text widget. If we didn't specify the container width, but we're going to set its height to 250. So for it is a child, consider using the stack widget as I mentioned. So let's change this to stack. We have children, right? Inside this stack widget, first is our container with this little bit gray color. Also, we can set this padding. So for the padding, consider using edge inset, constant edge inset, but only give left 50, and we have a white, which is medium query dot c of context size dot width, right? And because we have left 20 for the left padding, so we must subtract 20. And for it is decoration, we're going to use a box decoration because we have a rounded rounded shape on the top left and bottom left. So we consider using this border radius. Border, it should be a constant. Border radius dot only. So we only change top left, which is radius dot circular 50, and also the bottom left. Okay, should be radius circular as well, right? And we have another one, which is the color. So I consider using gray, but only 200. So let's save it. And now you see we have this rounded box shown here, and we have a child attribute inside this container, so we could implement that. So for it is child, I consider using this rect widget, right? And we're going to change it is border radius as well, so you could just copy this part, right? And we have a child, so we use image.access, which is book.image URL, right? And we're going to change it is feed to box feed.cover. Okay, so let's see, we're going to save it. Yeah, you see we have this image shown here. The reason, because I give this image 50 padding, you see, for this container. So you will start from this point, right? We have 50 padding, right? And for the next will be those two icons. So we could use a position widget after this container. So we're going to find in here, I'm going to place two positioned widget. So first one, we have a left 190 and bottom is 20, right? We have a child, which is a container. I'm going to implement this child will be a constant icon. We're going to use a material icon, which is icons dot info out lined it, right? And we're going to change its colors dot y, and also change the size to 25. Okay, and we can save. You see the icon here, right? We're going to style the container, have some shape and the color for this container. So we give the container a padding. So use constant edged inset.or. I think 8 is enough. And also we have a decoration. Use box decoration. We're going to change the border radius dot circular. I think 10 is enough. Then we have a color. We could use colors deep orange, right? So let's save. It's pretty similar, huh? So next will be this audio book icon. So after this position widget, I'm going to have another positioned widget, right? And it should be for it is trial. It should be a container as well. Right. I'm going to position left 240. Bottom is 20 as well. So for this container, we're going to first implement this child, which is a row widget. Right. So we have listed children. We can make this list constant. So we have one icon and one text widget. For the icon, it should be icons play row aligned, and also color change to white, and also the size change to 25. Okay, let's save. It's for these first row, and second row will be a text widget, which is for this all your book. I'm going to style it. We're using this text style, and by changing the color to white. Okay, so let's save, and we're going to style this container. So first we're going to give it color. I'm going to use box decoration. I'm changing it to border radius. Circular, 10 is enough. Then I'm going to change the color for this container using our font color. Okay, let's save, and also give the padding constant h inset.or, so 8 is enough, and we can save. So now it's pretty similar like this prototype. Okay, I think we finished this book cover as well, and we can move to the next part, which is this book review. So let's create another file for this book review. So back to Visual Studio Code. I'm going to create a book review.tar, and it should be a stay list widget as well. I'm going to call it book review, right? And we have the book object. I'm going to rewrite its constructor, make this key nullable, and also import a library for material and for this book object, and we can change it to book review and save it. So back to detail.dar, we're going to import our book review widget. Okay, so let's save. You were able to see the text shown here. Okay, and we could start from this point. So for this book review, consider using the column widget. Right, this is our first column, second column, and third column. Right, it's pretty straightforward. And this one will be a row widget. We have 5 star. Okay, back to this Visual Studio Code. Let's go to this book review .dar, and first let's give this container the padding. Right, we could use constant at index.org, give it 20, and for it is child, as I mentioned, we're going to change it to the column widget, and we have a children attribute. So for our first children should be this row widget with first row is a number score, and the second row will be a list of star. But as you see, we have a cross alignment for this column, which is star. I'm going to change it cross alignment star, right? And for the child, I'm going to use our row. Okay, so for our first row will be just this text. Okay, text widget. We have a book.score, right? And we're going to style it. Use this text style. For the text style, and let's change it is font size to 26, and also the font weight to bold. Okay, let's save. And for our second row, let's create another method. But first, give some space. I could use size box. For wet, just give a 10, and then we could add this constant keyword, and then we could write a method which called build start, and let's implement this method. Okay, it should return a widget, and we have this build start method. And first, I'm going to define a list of color for this start. So the first one will be colors.amber. Second one also colors.amber. I could copy that. So the last one will be colors.grade, and with capacity 0.3. So, and we're going to return a row widget, right? And implement this children. So we could map this color. We're going to use color.map to list. So we're going to return an icon. Inside the icon, I'm going to use material icon start, and change its size to 25, and also color, which is the element, and we can save. And you're able to see we have a star come out, right? Pretty similar and straightforward, right? Okay, so let's scroll up. We finish our first column. So for the second column, let's give some space between each column. We could use this size box. I'm going to change this width to height, right? And for our second column would be a text widget as well. So it will contain a book's ratings. Okay. And we could save it. So for our third one, and we're going to style it. So we could change the color to gray, and I'm going to use text style. And I'm going to change the color to gray, right? Let's save. Okay, now it looks good. And after this text, we're going to have another gap. So we could use this size box as well, but it would be a little bit more in height, so we change to 15. And for the rest part, I could use this text.reg, and inside I could use text band. Right, inside this text band, we have a children attribute. So let's implement our first text band. We have text which can from book the review, right? And you can style it using constant text style. And color will be our font color, and we're going to import library. Then for its size, I'm going to use font size 16, and for the height, change to 1.8. So the first one is for the book review, and the second one just the remote text main. Okay, and we have just this read more. You can style it as well. Use this text style. Okay, and we're going to change the color as well to our font color and make it bigger. So change the font size to 16 as well. So let's save. And now you see we make a very similar like this prototype, right? This is for our book detail. Okay, I think that's all for today's video. We finished our detail page for this ebook application, and if you have any question, please leave in the comment below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, sum up my content, and open the notification so you won't miss out the latest Flutter tutorial. Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you in next video.